Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So as per every Tuesday at 7:30, as per the other lives that go on through the week, we have Bhai Gurdaas Ji's Vaar. So the writings of Bhai Gurdaas Ji, which are gone through locally, and where we've reached the 10th chapter, a chapter in which where Bhai Gurdaas Ji go through all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and highlight the key characters, figures of history that are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Gurbani to help us understand the writings of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Gurbani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, where perhaps that specific character, the story behind that character, the story behind that figure is not explained in that Shabad. And we've been going, this is the fourth week. We started with Bhagat Ambreek, then Bhagat Prahalad Ji, and then last week was Raja Bal. And this week we have another king, so we'll go straight into it. We have a Bhagat, so somebody who's referred to as a Bhagat, as a saint, and also a king, Ambreek. So Raja Ambreek, we could say Ambreek Bhagat, was a king in Treta, so the age of Treta. So all of history is sort of separated into these four ages, Satyug. So the three previous figures that we've talked about are from Satyug, so that first age of history, or that first segment of history. And then the second quarter is called Treta. And Ambreek Bhagat was a king, was a Raja from this period of the age called Treta. And as was the, maybe even till today and back then, as was the rituals as per their faith, they would observe a fast on the 11th day of every half a month. So in India, those who might know, we have something called a Titta. A tit is basically, so there's 15 tits, and they make up half of the month. Obviously, we're talking about the month, the system, the calendar system in India, not here. And the month is separated into the lunar calendar. So as per the moon, it's separated into two. So then you have 15 days where the moon gets perceivably gets bigger. The moon grows for 15 days, and then it's full moon, and then the moon diminishes and starts to decrease. So we have those two halves, and they're called Bak, and we have two Baks, and one is called Sudi, and one is called Vadi. So the one where it grows is called Vadi, and the one where it decreases is called Sudi, if I'm not mistaken. We can say Janran Bak, which means the light side, where it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And we can say the dark side, Haner Bak. So we have those two halves of a month. And in that half of a month, we have 15 days, which are referred to as the 15 Tit. And those are the dates, or you could say the numbers. So, the 11th day of that Tit is when the kings would observe a fast to maintain, to worship their gods, goddesses, and ask for their kingdom to succeed and to flourish. And so on that half month, on the 11th day, Raja Ambreek was fasting. So he observed a fast for the betterment of his kingdom. As he was a king, the king's it's called Ekadashi Davart. So Eka and Dasi means 1 and 10. So the 11th day, Ekadashi Davart. So he was observing a fast, this king, and somebody who's quite renowned in the history of India who's called Durbasa Rikhi. So Rikhi means sage, or could say saint, called Durbasha, who was renowned to be quite, you could say mischievous, you could say quite ill-tempered. He was very quick to sort of give curses. So that was his sort of notorious. Most of the stories you hear about him, he's always as was the norm back then. There were boons and curses. He was on that side of dishing out sort of curses to everybody, and he came and met Raja Ambreek on the day that he was fasting. So we'll go into how Bhai Gurdaas Ji describe it now, but that's a bit of the background, and we'll see how Vaheguru protects their saint. वाहिगुरु जी अम्बरीक मोहे वर्त है रात पई दुर्बासा आया. So on that 11th day, they keep a fast, and I think it is then the 11th and the 12th, maybe. I think that's how it works. But the 11th they start it, and I think it goes over to the 12th. But basically, it's a sin if it goes if the Vard doesn't finish before the 13th day. So that's sort of the context behind what's going on here. So it was a night of that 12th. So it's the night basically that he's gonna break his fast. So the night that the fast is over and he's gonna eat, and that fast is going to be over. But if it goes into the next day, that's seen as a sin. Okay, and so he said, so Bhai Gurdaas said, Ambreek mohe vart hai, so he's keeping a fast, raat pai, and it comes to sort of the evening. It comes to the sun sets and it's night now, and he has to break his fast. He was planning on breaking his fast before midnight, before the 13th, the day starts, as was sort of the correct thing to do as per his scriptures, as per his religion. And then they say Raat Pai, when the night fell, Durbasha Aya. Durbasha Riki, this sage who's known as being quite ill-tempered, he arrived. Pida os uparana oh utra navan nadi sidaya. So he came, and what Raja Ambreek did, as he was very humble, he saw that this is a saint, and that I would love for there was a great feast that was it was prepared for the breaking of the fast. Like many religions, they have a great feast at the end of their fasts. At the end of the fast, there was this great feast that was to be had, and Raja Ambreek asked Durbashariki if he would bless them and come and eat the food, bless the food first. So he'd be the first person to come and to eat, and then Raja Ambreek would break his fast after having been blessed by this saint. So he's Pida also partner. So let me be the one to start the feast, the Basha said. And then what did he do? Ot Navan. So he got up and he went to Navan to bathe. Nadi Sidaya. So he left, and he went over to the Nadi, the river, to go and bathe. Now in his mind it was that, again, he was quite mischievous, you could say. He knew that obviously the Raja said, I want you to start the feast, and then only then I'll break my fast after you've eaten. But he knew that if he went over to the river and he just sort of waited after midnight, then his fast would run over into midnight into the next day, which would be a sin. Okay, so again, look, this is a description of the events. Then this is not Bhai Gurdaas ji giving us some sort of orders or to tell us to do this or not do this. They're just detailing what the story behind Ambreek Bhagat was. Now, even in the translation, it says that this is not to be taken as like an order. It's just to be understood, just so who Raja Ambreek was, the story behind it, and then we can look at what we can take from this. So he's trying to fulfill his vard as per his faith. Durbasha's now gone, and Durbasha's he's got no plan to come back. He's just going to go and sit there, and he'll come back after midnight. Now it gets quite late, and Raja Ambreek's there, and it's nearly sort of midnight. Durbasha Riki's not coming back, and what he thinks is, we have to start our break our fast and start this feast. What shall I do? And then what he did was if we carry on, Charanvir le pokya. So he went and he took the Amrit. So in his faith, Amrit is when they worship the idols, the idols that represent the gods and goddesses, and they wash those idols. The water that was used or has been used to wash those idols, that's seen as Amrit. So he went to his to the little mandir within his sort of palace and took that Amrit, and he used that to break his fast, as in he saw that it was the Amrit of my. So he used to worship Krishna. He used to worship Vishnu. He used to be a Pasha called Vishnu. So he saw that as Amrit from Vaheguru, and I'll break my fast, trying to stick to his religion in terms of his scriptures and his faith. Oho sarap den no taya. And then obviously what did Durbasha Riki do, the sage? He saw that he's broken his fast. even though he told me, he's disrespected me basically. So he came in an egotistical way, and what he thought was going to happen, sort of, he would wait till the 13th day and his fast would be ruined. In fact, no, he stuck to his dharam, and he broke his fast before midnight. Durbasha came, he was angry, as it says here, oh sarap den no taya. He taya means ran to give a sarap, to give a curse, as was his sort of the norm. If you ever read about Durbasha, that's sort of his characteristics. But then this is where, so he came to give him a curse, but this is where Vaheguru came to protect their devotee, their Bhagat, who was that Raja Ambreek. Chakar Sudarshan Kal Roop. At that point, Vishnu, remember that's who he's worshipping. So he's worshipping Vishnu, the Raja Ambreek. That's who he sees as Vaheguru. Vishnu has a chakar. So a chakar is a bit like a kada, but it's flat and it's serrated. So it has like teeth around it. Sort of like if you see a bike and you see the gears of a bike, it's got those teeth in it, but it's sort of like a chakar. So it's quite thin. You see a chakar around, some people dastara. Imagine that, but with teeth on the end, so sharp. That is a shastra of Vishnu's. So that Vaheguru in the form of Vishnu sent and fired at Durbasha. When he saw this, he ran, and the story goes that so it says Hoy Pihaval, so becoming very, very scared. Garab Gavaya, he lost his ego. Garab with a babba. So if you say softly with a soft ba, Garab means ego. He lost his ego at that point when he saw this Shastra of Vaheguru coming to sort of essentially punish his egotistical actions and his becoming an obstacle in the way of this saint's worship, like his fast. Bamran Panna Jiu Le Rakhana Hangan Dev Sabaya. He went and ran through all of that, as it's sort of written, all of the heavens. So he went to this god, that god, every, Brahma, Vishnu, Shivji, all of these gods in there, and asking to be saved. He's been chased by this chakar. It sort of spins, so you throw it, and it sort of spins in the air as it's sort of fired. But they all said that you have essentially upset, or you've come in the way of the devotion of a true Bhagat. So only that true Bhagat of Vaheguru can forgive you. Dev Sabaya, all of the Dev, they said that we cannot help you. Indralok, Indralok, he went through the realms, the heavens of Indra, the king of the gods. Sivlok, Shivji's heavens. Taj Brahmalok, Vaikuntha Tajaya, even through Brahma's heavens. Devtaya, all of the gods and goddesses. Bhagavan, San, Sikh De Sabana Samajaya. All of them gave this same Sikh, this same teaching. So Sikh doesn't mean somebody who is a Sikh. It means a teaching, a Sikhya, a teaching that you have to go and ask for forgiveness from that Bhagat whose Bhagat you came in the way of. Baya, what did he do? Finally, he came to the sanctuary, as it says here. He came Baya, and he fell in the Saranagati. Baya Saranagati. He fell in the sanctuary in the feet of Raja Ambreek, Bhagat Ambreek. Marida Ambreek Chodaya. And he asked Raja Ambreek to save him, essentially. And at that point, Raja Ambreek, he did an ardas to who he was worshipping, who had essentially come to protect him and his bhakti, and said, can you, it wasn't, he is no wiser. It's ego that has grasped control of Durbasha Riki. Please forgive him, as is the way of a true Bhagat. The highest good is forgiveness. And he understood that Durbasha Riki is just the victim of ego. It's not Durbasha Riki who's the enemy, it's ego itself that is the enemy. And then finally, Bhai Gurdaas, you finish this Pauri. They say, Bhagat Vachal Jag Bird Sadaya. So Bird means the characteristics, you could say. Well, this is the personality of Vaheguru. This is the Sobha, as we'd say. I can't think of the English word. The Sobha, the attitude of Vaheguru. That is Sadaya, that is widely acknowledged. That Vaheguru has this quality that is Bhagat Vachal. Vaheguru is the protector of their saints, and Vaheguru is also the lover of their saints. So if you think about this whole Saki, the thing to take, Jag means the world. So the world, that is why the world acknowledges Vaheguru as the protector of the saints and the that who has a love for their devotees. So what we can take from this is, if we, obviously this is Raja Ambreek that is referencing Gurbani, which I'll go through some lines just in case, just so that people know, this is where in Gurbani it's Raja Ambreek is referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Because again, remember, Bhai Gurdaas Ji's writings are to explain things that come up in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In this chapter, we're looking at people specifically, figures, historical figures, and to help us understand Gurbani. So now when Raja Ambreek, you could even search Ambreek in a Gurbani app to see, I think there's about 5 or 6 times where we see Raja Ambreek's name in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and it will help us understand those shabads a bit better. Now we know the sort of story behind how he was saved. So before this, like I sort of say every live, we don't know whether Ambreek is the villain or is the hero. We don't know anything about Raja Ambreek. We don't know if he's a good king, a bad king. Was he, in that story, was he the villain? Was he? We don't know. Only upon reading this can we understand how Raja Ambreek was saved from that Durba Shariki's curse. Vaheguru protects us. So we can take from this that if we are the Bhagat of Vaheguru, and we worship Vaheguru, we do the Simran of Vaheguru, then we don't need to stress too much about everything else, because Vaheguru is essentially our protector. We don't need to worry about how things are done, why things are done. We just need to be on that path that is the devotional worship of Vaheguru. That's the most important thing. And then Vaheguru then protects us. All these other fears that we have, Vaheguru quells those and protects us in all these other ways, just like they explained here. So that Durba Shariki was nothing in the face of Vaheguru, and that's why Vaheguru is Bhagat Bashal, the protector of their saints. So we can take that from this Pauri as well. Now quickly, in about a minute, some references of where Guru Granth Sahib Ji talk about Raja Ambreek. So here we'll just go through one, but they basically talk about this in this same way, like talking about others who are saved by Vaheguru. They say in this way Raja Ambreek was saved. So they say Satgur Bachan hai Niko. So Vaheguru's Bachan, the order of the true Guru is pure, is the highest. Guru Bachani Amrit Pavego. Through the Guru's word we can attain Amrit, that true bliss, that true nectar. And they say Jion, which means just like. Jion Ambreek Amara Pad Paye, just like Ambreek, Raja Ambreek or Bhagat Ambreek, Amara Pad, he attained that immortal level. Amara means Mara, something that doesn't die. Pad, that level or that spiritual realm. Raja Ambreek attained that immortal realm. Satgur Mukh Bachan Tyavego, through worshipping obviously that was his Guru at that time, but basically he was worshipping Vaheguru, and us worshipping our Guru, worshipping Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and Mukh Bachan Tyavego, focusing on the Bachan, the words, the orders that come from the Mukh, as it says here, the mouth of our Satguru, the words that come from the mouth of the Guru. So we can see that as Guru Granth Sahib Ji, what Guru Granth Sahib Ji say to us, and then we can see Guru Granth Sahib Ji as the words of our Guru as well. So yeah, a quick, we'll keep it sort of brief every week, but you can see the moral of the sort of Sakhi there. And now when we see that Ambreek, Bhagat Ambreek referencing Guru Granth Sahib Ji, makes it a bit easier to understand who they were. Thank you everybody for listening. And again, next week will be 7:30. This live will stay on the Instagram page for 24 hours, and then it will go onto the YouTube channel, which there should be a link on the page. But it's Musket Mata Sahib God Educational Trust on YouTube as well, where it should get uploaded in a day or two. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.